I'm here at Possible Summit interviewing a few marketers to hear more about what they're doing in the creator space, gaming, how they're partnering across social. And I'm here today with
Nathan Lindberg. I'm the head of U.S. brand partnerships at Overwolf.
Thank you so much for being here, Nathan. I really appreciate it. Obviously, we got the sun out. You got the pants on.
We're ready to go.
Absolutely
right?
killing it, ready to go. Love to just hear a little bit more about Overwolf, what you guys are doing in the space.
Yeah, Overwolf is a platform really to design for the creator economy, but maybe not the ones you're used to. The ones that are building and creating kind of apps and websites and mods and add-ons for the gaming audience, people to enjoy their gaming experience a little bit better. So still a creator, a little bit different, but we partner with a lot of content creators out there to help get the word out about what we're doing and the products and services that we do that are used by over 100 million people worldwide.
Oh, wow. That's wild.
Yeah, and it's great because our apps and services are very complicated, right? So if you look at it at first place, you're like, okay, well, what is a desktop app and how is that going to help me game? And so when we work with content creators, it's really valuable for them to articulate the value proposition that we need so that audiences understand, okay, what I'm downloading, what I'm using is something that's actually going to be useful for me. And influencers play a really, really valuable role in telling that story and articulating that value proposition to consumers for us.
So you're not just in front of the scenes working with creators, but you're also working with the behind the scenes people who are developing the mods, helping them basically build content before they even know what kind of content to build. And I guess I'm curious, like, how do you see brands coming into the foray? How are brands partnering with these modders in the PC space, but also how are they partnering with creators when it comes to these mod games?
Yeah, we're seeing some really great opportunities right now where we're able to take branded mods and applications and put them into games. And so a great example of one we did recently was with Hasbro and their franchise Power Rangers. We were able to put
I've heard of Power Rangers before.
Heard of Power Ranger, right? Do you have a favorite one?
The red one, I guess? The black one? I don't know.
I'm a Green Ranger guy. It's my favorite. Okay. But we did a partnership with them where we were able to take the Power Ranger characters and put them into the game Ark Survival. And for $10, you could basically buy a premium mod pack. That was created by an independent studio who built that as part of the partnership. And then we used content creators on TikTok and Twitch and YouTube to then promote the fact that that content was out there. And so everybody kind of played their role in how we went to market with that. But let me tell you, when you're playing a game like Ark Survival and you're building all these great dinosaurs and this great ecosystem, and then you can change your character into the Green Ranger and he can play the little notes and all of a sudden out of the water comes this massive battle sword. That was pretty awesome. And I think everybody across the process was excited to work on it, from the developers on the backside to the creators on the front end. Like, everybody just had a legendary experience, and it was a really great way to bring it all together.
I mean, I love it. I guess from my side of things, like, I look at a lot of the influencer space and creator economy as like long-term strategic partnership development. And I think a lot of brands have trouble doing that. You know, they find a creator, they work with them once, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. But like, how do they build these longer partnership opportunities? And it sounds like it's just very seamless for you guys. People are using the games, people are using the mods, people are creating content even if they're not being paid to create content about it. I'm curious, how are you looking at long-term strategic partnerships when it comes to working with these creators and the brands that you guys have on board?
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to just, there's two things, right? There's community value. So building a strong community in gaming is going to help sustain the lifetime value of your product. So the stronger your community, the more people are going to stay and play for longer, the more money they're going to spend, all those good things about the ecosystem. We've also seen gaming has had a really hard time over the last couple of years. Like, we've had studios that are cutting staff, they're not able to have the same number of developers out there, and that's creating opportunity for independent creators to be able to provide that value, to be able to provide new content for gamers, new opportunities. And so I think when you think about the creator economy in particular, these are people that are financially incentivized to help make sure that your ecosystem is as successful as you also want it to be, right? And so by making that a symbiotic relationship with creators, by incentivizing them the right way to not just, post a piece of content about me, but hey, how do we build out your narrative? How do we get your content out there? How do we build more value across the entire year-long process? And how do we get you from ranked number 20 to ranked number 15, right? In the content creator ecosystem? That's a symbiotic relationship. That's how you build long-term value. And that's how you really leverage, I think, the magic of what creators can do, both in front of the mic and also behind the keyboard. That community really is what takes a game from good to great.
Yeah, and you know, to your point about community, I think it's so incredible that, especially in the gaming space, there's so much IP that's already out there. There's so much love for these products. I remember watching on TikTok, even a couple years ago when Elden Ring first came out, there were hundreds, if not thousands of videos on my For You page. And I'm just sitting there like, wait a second, I like Souls games. Why don't I go get this? I don't know. I mean, I sucked at it, but I bought it anyway.
Yeah.
And I guess, just from a personal standpoint, like, are you a gamer? Is there anything that you really love to do as a gamer yourself?
Yeah, I mean, listen, when I'm traveling, I don't get a lot of time to do it. I do play my Pokemon Go wherever I go because I love that.
10 years later?
I mean, listen, there's still every time there's new content, and I can play with my 10-year-old daughter. It's a really great kind of communal thing. We can go out and walk around, have a good time, dive back into Teamfight Tactics. And it's a game that is, it's a high skill cap, high sophisticated, smart person game, which isn't necessarily my forte. And so having an app like Meta TFT or having an app like Mobalytics that is created by independent developers that give me coaching tips and ideas of, hey, this is how you can play this game the best.
Yeah.
It helps me just not get griefed by my teammates. And so, again, whether or not you're a superstar or an average Joe, like there's definitely that opportunity where mods and add-ons and desktop apps and content that's made by the community is going to help you have a better gaming experience.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. And that fanaticism, to your point, is what's going to drive not just the immediacy, the lifelong connection that they're going to have with your game. And that's going to extend the life cycle for a lot longer than you expect.
Wow. I feel like incredible insights. I'm not from the gaming space, so this is like so cool to hear that my assumptions that I've always thought about this world are like right. Last question for you. Do you have a favorite gaming creator, whether it's behind the scenes doing mods, whether it's in front of camera, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitch? Is there anybody you're watching coming from this world that you think is really leading the charge or that you just love to watch yourself?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, there's a lot, and I spent 7 years at Twitch, so I have a lot of folks that I don't like to pick favorites on those types of things. It is one of those things where I think that there's a lot of folks doing some exciting things. I think that new platforms are causing just different conversations. What I think is really interesting is the consumption habits of new generations. So, Gen Z, the transition to Gen A, you're actually seeing different types of mediums. Live streaming is not as attractive as perhaps short form content. How do you pivot? How do you leverage those things? I'm very fascinated with short form content, whether it's TikTok,
that's my world,
whether it's Instagram, or whether it's even YouTube Shorts. Really trying to understand how to create that content, how to manufacture that content to be effective, as effective as someone live watching. I think that those are areas where there is a lot of upside for people to come and disrupt the marketplace and set a new standard for what good content, especially for brands, is going to look like.
So no specific creator, just you love them all.
I do.
I know.
Listen. I mean, I worked with a lot of folks. Some of my favorite Twitch content creators. I worked with Tyler and Ninja. I worked with Pokimane for a long time.
I've heard of them before. I know those guys.
There's some big folks there. I mean, listen, there's a lot of great people that are doing stuff in this space. And are changing the narrative. I think what's great to see is, especially on platforms like Twitch, you're seeing a diversification outside of just a live stream. You're seeing Pokimane running her own video podcast now. Like, people are expanding. Courage, Dr. Lupo and I worked on a number of campaigns together over my years at Twitch.
Ludwig's been doing a ton in the event space.
And I love
he's
all those guys. And I think what's great about the creators is that they're diversifying, and the diversification of live streaming is helping with that. But people are realizing that they can talk to different folks and get more brands to come in and work together with them. And I think that that's what's truly special about the space, is that there's so much room for additional creativity.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Nathan. I really appreciate the time, and hopefully we'll see you out there. I don't know. Maybe we'll make it possible.
Let's do it.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thanks so much.